Alright, people, we are in Andorra. Finally got a bit of sun after a very cold Poland week. Got my laptop here with the GoPros from Poland race day. Doing something a bit different today. Gonna do a race recap. I rewatch my GoPros after each race anyway and see where I made mistakes, or like just try to remember, see where I made mistakes and see if I can do stuff better for the next race. And there's no interviews with me anymore because Stagsy's not here, so figured I'd just film this and maybe a bit of insight in there or some interesting stuff. Let us know if you like it. If people like it, I can do it after each race. If not, all good, means I have to do less shit. Stage 1, I got 4th. Got to the top, was cooking, was expecting another real rainy day, like practice day, so I was pretty kitted up, as you would have saw if you watched the vlog. Tried to strip a bit of kit off, but had no room in my backpack because I was full of gloves and gels and water and stuff. So I was like packing a rain jacket around my waist, tried to tuck it in under my jersey, looked like a complete goon, so no close-up shots from the first few stages. But got that sorted. Didn't have much time at the top really by the time I got all that sorted. I thought I was just going to chuck it in my backpack, but it seemed to be rolling pretty slow. It softened up a bit. It's a real flat track, so with the softer dirt and not being able to carry as much speed over the wet routes, it was a punish. I remember thinking a couple times in that lap, like, I'm going so slow, and I felt real gassed as well. Maybe because I didn't get a proper warm-up in at the top because I was sorting out my jacket and shit. And I think in those temperatures, a warm-up's even more important than normal, so that was probably it. But yeah, got to the bottom and was like, I had to ask the guy where I was at because I felt like I was that far off the bag. But I got 4th, so I was like, okay, everyone must be struggling a bit. And then I chatted to Booker when he got down, and he said, man, I felt like I was running so slow. But then I still thought I was too tired. I was thinking, am I really this unfit? Kept cruising to stage 2. When we were on the gondola at stage 2, it started raining, and I got really excited because I wanted to test out my wetsuit gloves and my wet weather kit. So I got off at the Gondi and actually put some of that stuff on. Kept me pretty warm. We didn't have a whole lot of time up there though. It was like 10, maybe 15 minutes. Raining pretty decent, and then by the time I got into the gate, it eased off a bit. I was about to run no lens on the goggles because it's a no-go if you got rain coming down. The goggles just get cooked straight away. So took the lens out, was about to run no lens, then put it back in last minute, hit it with the paper towel, put all my gear back in the bag, and it was a good move in the end because I remember the lens was still pretty good at the bottom. But took off from stage 2. The marshal the guy in the gate grabbed my arm or touched me on the way out, which was weird. I was about to stop and be like I was like, am I supposed to keep going? But I never heard anything after that. Maybe he was just trying to feel how silky smooth that new YT mod kit is. I don't know, but it was a bit weird. Anyway, got into the first couple corners and realized it was super sloppy. The front wheel was pushing everywhere. I changed up a line right at the top. I had a quick look with Slav right before we dropped in and decided to go inside of this rut. Made it through there pretty good. But because I went inside, I had a bit more speed for the next corner. Blew a bit wide on that. It was all good. But then this next corner really caught me out. There was no sign of a rut there in practice. Well, not that I can remember anyway. And I just came into it, and by the time I got to it, it was too late to turn up. And it just got so soft near the end. The whole top flat bit was just super soggy, hard to carry speed. The climb was cooked, probably that deep, squishy mud, just spinning out, pedaling as hard as you can, and felt like you were going nowhere. That was probably 30 seconds worth too, so real real lung punisher, that one. But then I feel like the rest of the track was running sick. Crazy crowd through the rock garden section, which gets you pumped. And then, yeah, I had a pretty smooth run. Nothing insane. Wasn't sprinting that hard because I was a bit cautious of my energy levels after that first stage where I felt real cooked. But yeah, it was just a clean run. What did I get on that one? I got another 4th on that one. But after the first stage, I did not check any more results. I was just doing what I could, and what's gonna happen is gonna happen anyway. So at the bottom of that one, hands were super cold at the bottom of that one. Got the wetsuit gloves back on, straight into the oven. That was mad, but it didn't last long. The sun came out 15 minutes into the liaison. I just kept getting these little tastes of all my preparation for the super cold weather, like working out, but then it just was nowhere near as cold as practice day. It wasn't snowing, it wasn't raining all day, like we were barely wet. It was like we were wet from like spraying stuff, but not from just trudging through the rain all day. But I guess better than not having it. And if I didn't have it, you know, it would have been like practice where it was just miserable as. Yeah, on that liaison I started cramping already. Only done 2 stages. That was a bit of a worry. Could have been because I was so kitted up. I was like sweating a bit, but I think, yeah, I was just still like fatigued from finale, and kept pounding some water and more electrolytes, and it pretty much went away. Stage 3. This one is pretty long, pretty flat, like super physical. I ended up getting 9th on it, but after watching back the GoPro, if I didn't make one of the mistakes I made and didn't crash, I would have been on a real good time. So yeah, not too bad. After seeing the top of stage 2, I took a couple of safer lines at the top of that, try avoid some off-camber routes and stuff, which I don't know, probably didn't need to do, but just thought I'd use a bit of experience, you know. I really wanted to have a clean race this week after finale, so tried to be a bit safer. The pedal section on this one was death. I remember like really hurting. You're trying to sprint over, like slightly uphill over all these little rocks and roots, and it's wet. I've got like all this kit on, 2 sets of pants, they're covered in water. It just felt heavy as shit. I got these wetsuit boots on, so my feet feel super fat and squishy. It was yeah, a heavy pedal, and I was feeling it. Ran super close to a tree in the middle, like trying to hit a right-hander. Didn't quite get the apex right, because when there's a bunch of wet roots, sometimes you can't turn as tight as you want or you'll start sliding. And I just ran wide, and then right where I was gonna cut up and miss the tree, there was some off-camber, like diagonal roots that push you right into the tree. And I just got over him, but I was so close to the tree, I clipped it with my handguard. And I fully forgot about that, but I remember now, when I rewatched the video, it would have been close to doing the full clip over the bars set up. So that was a good one to get away with. First, like a bigger mistake where I lost a bit of time was down the bottom, grass corner, come into it super fast. I actually knew in my head it was probably going to be greasy, but I thought I'd just try come in fast, and if I had to throw a leg off. But yeah, probably came in a bit fast. Ended up throwing a leg off, but just drifting, and just got into a slide and just started losing heaps of speed, drifted all the way down near the tape and had to start sprinting again. I was so cooked. Like at the bottom of a run like that, that's a section where you really need to have a good exit, because there's a big long flat straight after it, and you've got no pedal power left when you've just been on the limiter for the last 5 or 6 minutes. I'm sure a lot of people lost a bunch of time on that, but I saw a clip of Booker and he hit it so mint. He just like cut up a bit early and just carried heaps of speed. So a couple of the good guys probably got it real good. The bottom crash, it actually got me by surprise. I was coming into that section, knew I had to go a different line that I did from practice, because last year I hit the left, then went inside, and it flowed straight down. But this year, it cut back on itself and then did another turn, so the inside didn't really work. So I think I was thinking about that a bit too much, and I was really tired, and I just did not expect it to be that greasy. I went to brake, and you can see my front wheel just slips. I get off balance that way, go off the drop into the turn, and then wash out. Didn't lose a heap of time, but like, when you factor in the momentum and getting back going again, like that would have been a good 3-4 seconds. And then, yeah, I was actually so surprised how greasy that bottom stuff was. I was riding every turn after that with my foot off, and it was just sliding it. The dirt went to like clay down there or something. It was pretty crazy. Finished that lap, was destroyed. But then Slav came in behind me, and I asked him how he went.
How was it, Slav?
Oh, I'm so tired.
Yeah, same, bro.
That's a fit man right there. If he's hurting, then yeah, everyone must be hurting. But yeah, I still don't know if it was everyone's still a bit fatigued from finale because it was a big week, if it's because of the cold, or if the tracks are rolling that slow with the rain that you just got to pedal that much. But definitely was more tired than usual. Cruised back to the Taz, tried to jam some food in, penny washed the bike. I did a full kit change, got rid of all those layers and shit. We didn't have much time there, so bit of a rush, but got it all done. When I was leaving, the sun came out, and I was thinking, should I take a jacket? But it looked sunny as hell, and I thought, nah, rain's done for the day, we're set. Didn't want to be heavy, didn't want to be carrying all this shit, so yeah, just set off in my normal kit. Felt so light and fresh. But then got to the top, and it was this crazy hailstorm. It was freezing. But we got under cover, so we didn't get too wet. Kept the hands warm just by rubbing them because I didn't have my thick gloves. And then set off for a pretty wild stage 4. Like, it was, yeah, super wet. But I charged pretty hard on that one. Had a good top section, got to the middle bit where there was a crazy crowd, and it just makes you want to go flat out. I've already said it a bunch, but thank you to the Poland crowd. You guys are the sickest. We're frothing, everyone's frothing after that race. So sick racing down there with everyone yelling. I remember the wheel was like pinballing off the roots and stuff in there. It's just like pretty wild. But yeah, made it through that section. And then it was a physical bottom. Actually nearly crashed at the bottom. There's like this real fast section, came into a left-hander where you unweight over some roots, push into a compression, and then hit a left. And I saw when I was coming in, the left was like, the dirt was real dark, and you could see that it was a bit slippery. And I came in super hot, compressed, and then when I was coming out of the compression, I was a bit too far lean in. And as I came down and my tires started to weight again on the dirt, I was too leaned in, and my front wheel just went swing like it was on a banana peel. Like full unclip, dabbed. I must have just saved it. Like for a split second I thought I was going down, so that was pretty lucky. But yeah, made that, and then it was just like a couple turns and then a filthy pedal, but just, yeah, cranked and pumped as hard as I could. And what did I get on that? I think I ended up winning that one. Yeah, got first on that one, which I didn't know at the time. I didn't check the stages, but that's pretty mad. Pedaled back up for stage 5. We had to wait at the top for 45 minutes for a reseed, which was gnarly. Went to the Party Boy Bushdorf for a bit, trying to warm up as then we realized everyone was camped out in like a cabin, and it was super warm in there, so that was a good find. Yeah, so obviously I got seated in 3rd, because you get seated in what order you coming in the race. So straight away I was thinking, fuck, don't throw it away again like a junior, like you just did in the finale, because I really wanted to get a podium. But then pretty quickly I was like, shut up, brothers, swing off it, you know what to do. And I just thought I'll have a nice solid run, not try to do anything special, and just crank really hard. The top section had a bunch of like real fast berms and like switchbacks and stuff. And I feel like I'm pretty good at ripping turns and like corners, like good corner speed. So that kind of just got me set up for the run. I was swinging off it through those. Came down into the route section and it was insane. Again, shout out to the Polish fans. That was probably the sickest section I've like raced, and the sickest GoPro vision too. After like I just put a video up of that, like a short to Instagram. It looks insane. So yeah, that got me real fired up. I made it through there. That one was a bit of a roll of the dice. There's a few guys like Booker and that gapping the second route section in practice, and I thought, you know what, you could throw the whole race away by just trying to gap that and cooking it and going off the track. So I just decided I'd try get through there like pretty smooth, and I think I did like a bit of a hybrid gap unweight thing, but anyway, made it through. Was pumped on the crowd, and then just yeah, tried to ride the rest of the track real fast, and then absolutely slogged it through the bottom sprints, just pedaled as hard as I could. And I won that stage as well, which pretty sick. Won the last two stages. Real stoked to get back on the podium. That felt good. And initially I thought I got third, which pretty mad thinking you get third and then ending up second. But then I felt bad for Greg because he was told he got second and ended up third. Yeah, it was such a confusion at the finish line. We asked the guy a couple times and he told us both times that Greg got second. So yeah, felt bad for Greg, but I think like he's still on the podium, so he's still pumped. But yeah, sick race. Pretty proud of it after practice. I did not think, like I could barely ride a bike in practice. I was that cold and that it was that miserable that I was worried. I was genuinely worried for race day, but I think the extra preparation and the warm weather kit gave me a bit of confidence that I'd make it through the day all good. But nah, really stoked with that, and it's good to know I'm riding good and my fitness is there. I might be lacking a bit of intensity, but overall I'm super fit, and yeah, got a week here in Andorra. Had a couple of days off because we just had a big 2 weeks, but get back into some training end of this week, do some more riding, and then straight back into Ludenville. I'm actually keen on a bit of a Ludenville mutter. It looked insane last year. I was Devo to miss it, like real deep ruts and stuff, so that'd be sick. But also a dry race would be good for the mechanic and the team. Like on that note, shout out to Painey for grinding all week. He's got a job on his hands this year. Like he's our only mechanic, and he's got a lot on, and the mud race just adds to that. You gotta do double the cleanup and double the fixing on the bike. So thank you, Major Pain. Much appreciated, brother. See you in Ludenville. Let me know if you like this shit, and I can do one after every race. Thank you, people.